I have an addiction to losing. I play a mobile game, a little known mobile game called League of Legends Wild Rift. If you've never heard of League of Legends, or you've heard of League of Legends players and you have some choice opinions about it, let me be the first to comfort you here. It is exactly like regular League. In fact, it's worse because you have to queue up on your phone. And so these people are playing at their dad's funerals, which is horrible. Can't bring a setup in public. But my addiction to losing actually comes from playing ranked solo queue as a support. And a lot of people don't know or understand that there's a certain way you have to play as a support. When you play as a support, you are meant to keep people alive. Not only that, right? But everything you do must be directly in support of helping your teammates. Every bad play, every int has to be met with enthusiastic support to assist your teammate. It's exactly like being married. I mean, to the T. When you queue up alone, you're basically spinning a roulette wheel and marrying the guy or the gal you started the game with for the next 20 minutes. So when you go to choose who you're playing, you have to look at their abilities and the items you pick, and instead of thinking about being the most damaging or staying alive or doing sick combos, you have to say, how can I help make every decision my people make a better one? How do I make sure that every decision my teammates make is met with the most positive outcome? Does that mean your teammates, your friends, your wife, your husband, are they going to make stupid decisions? Yes, 100%. I will present opportunity after opportunity only for them to walk away or decide not to capitalize it, or I'll ping somebody to retreat only for them to get surrounded and I have to bail them out. But you can't control that. You can't control what they're doing. In fact, if you try, you're just going to be met with toxicity. And if you meet that toxicity with more toxicity, if you decide, I'm not going to help this guy, they're going to feed, and then somebody else is going to win the game on the other team. So you're throwing the game just as much as the other guy is, right? But Doc, what if the situation is hopeless? Doc, what if I know they're going to die? You try anyways, man. This mentality that if something looks hopeless, you should just let your people die is exactly the kind of rhetoric that loses games, that gets people who feed to feed more. I've gotten people out of a lot of bad situations. I've pulled people out of hell and high water, or I've died trying. And nobody blames me for that. Nobody pings me. Nobody throws their hands up and said, man, this support sucks for helping his teammates. And if they do, right? If they do, they themselves are not a team player. That one guy from Ted Lasso, I don't remember his name. My editor wants me to remember his name, but I'm not going to remember his name. But he ends up learning humility by the end of the season. They're that guy. And I don't want to take shit from that guy. That guy sucks. Look, so the only way the scoreboard shows that you did a good job by the end of the game is if you have a bunch of people with S's and A's on next to their names, right? You take pride in the fact that everybody else did well, even if you lost, right? You saved those people. You did a good job in supporting them, right? It ended up being a skill issue for them, right? But you can't get blamed for that, right? YouTubers need cameramen, whether or not those YouTubers do well, right? YouTubers need editors. People need support. Husbands need supports. Wives need supports. They, them, partners need supports. At the end of the game, I couldn't save everybody. That's why we lost. I couldn't support them good enough because they're that bad, right? I couldn't keep the team together, not because I fed, not because I'm a bad support. Every death was me trying to save them, walking towards trying to save them, or I'm dead. Every kill on the scoreboard was me walking to help them, helping them, or dead. There is no in between, right? I am here to help people capitalize on good opportunities. If you don't have that mentality, you lose and you let down 4 other people rather than just one. It's simple math. Playing League of Legends is harder than being married. You let down 4 people, not just one. Keep that in mind. Write that down in your little notebook. So what kind of characters exist to do that? What are the champs that help me do that? Right? I want to talk to you a little bit. Stay with me now. Rakan. This might be a little spicy of a take because nobody plays him and people think he sucks, but Rakan is amazing once you get him down. The thought process behind a utility-focused support is we're here to keep our ADC alive by presenting opportunity to leave or take out threats. Rakan is all about presenting opportunities. We are going to be capitalizing on his second ability here. It's called Grand Entrance. It's a dash that knocks enemies up. It's got pretty good range, and they get a second of immobility when they're knocked up. Cooldown on this is 16 seconds. Keep that in mind. It does magic damage as well. So the nature of all of his abilities means that when we dash in with this ability, we have enough time to pop an auto attack and his first ability, which if it hits a enemy champion, it starts a heal. If you get in range with your partner, you heal them for 70% of your total AP. His last ability, Battle Dance, it lets you dash to a friendly teammate. So you see where I'm going with this, right? If you're behind your ADC and there's a guy in range, right, you can dash to your ADC. The cooldown on this shield here lets us do it twice in one cooldown, and we can dash and knock up an enemy, presenting an opportunity for our ADC to get the kill. We are kind of going to be building a lot of burst damage when we talk about this, but we're not going to be able to close out. I'll talk to you about that in a second, right? And then you can dash out of that pop-up and away from harm's way. Everything we do should lean into this, so we're not going to be looking as much at defense, but AP, movement speed, and ability haste. We want this sudden attack to do as much damage as it can, and we want to stun them for as long as we can, and we want to heal our ADC as much as we can. So stay with me now. Electrocute asks for 3 attacks. Brother, we can only do 3 attacks after a dash. That dash knock up, the quill, the auto, dash away. That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer just because it does so much damage, it's ridiculous. You are going to, by the end of our build, to have so much ability haste that Phase Rush will be a drop in the bucket. You don't have to worry about Phase Rush. Electrocute will be an asset for our ADC to get them low enough that they can finish out the kills. We also want to bring Sudden Impact. Sudden Impact has a sweet movement speed of level 9 that we just want. We want to be able to move very quickly to help out our teammates wherever they are. We bring Mark of the Week so we can start getting that percentage damage. I think it's 7 or 3%. And then here's a fun one, Zombie Ward. Your ADC is going to be putting their wards down, and so is the enemy team, sure, but you want to remove the enemy's ability to put their wards down. You want to be as close to the enemy team as possible without them knowing, so that you can pop your combo as easy as possible. You want those bushes clear so you can get your enemies to drop. So you're going to be building AP every time you break a ward, and it's way faster than Eyeball Collector to get to max stats, to get to that 20 ability power, that adaptive force for those wards, which is, again, trust me, faster than Eyeball Collector. We've been talking about burst damage this whole time, but we need some way to survive. If we get rooted or we're not close enough away to port with a friend, so I bring Perseverance along for the armor and the magic resist. Usually it does the trick. You'll be jumping into fights pretty early game, so bring yourself a heal, bring yourself a shield, no flash needed because you'll be sticking around another teammate, right? Promise all that burst damage, and you're still not going to be able to close out. We talked a little bit about this earlier, right? And that's for your ADC to do. Your ADC is there to close out. Your ADC is there, let me tell you, they want to build kills. They have got a bunch of items that require them to have takedowns and kills and everything like that. You want them to get the kills so that they can do better at the opportunities you present them. So just let them have it. Just let them have it. They'll probably think it's all their own doing anyways. So just whatever, let them have it, right? So we need mana, we need spell haste, we need shields and heals so that we can stay alive during those precious seconds we're setting up for Electrocute. So that means we are going to be taking healing, we're going to be taking shield, as our spells. We're going to be taking Lucidity Boots for the 15% spell boost reduction. And then we're going to be building Psychic Projector first. It's exactly what we're looking for. We need ability haste, max health, ability power, and a shield. And it does all of those things. It's the perfect first item for a Rakan that we're using this philosophy on. So we'll build that. We'll build Crown. So when someone counters by trying to root us, we can get out. We're building Cosmic Drive for that so much ability haste. It's ridiculous that we were talking about earlier. Because we want to constantly pop our combo as much as possible in front of our ADC. So we've got these magic items so we don't feed, and then we build Cosmic Drive. So we want to finish off with the last bit of our needed ability haste, and that's going to be Malignance. Your ultimate charms people for longer than your second does. With this current build, you can pop that bad boy every 30 seconds. That gives so many people precious time to set up, to figure out exactly what they're doing with their lives, everything. That's it. That's what I wanted to sell you on, was Rakan. Stay up, support kings. And remember, being a support is harder than being married. Have a good one.